Oh, okay.
Thank you for live streaming.
Come got the road for that, bro. I see the way I look at these. You step in and we fight you.
Or just unhinged since it's Tuesday.
You know what? I can't say how canceled.
Would it be the first time, Tim? Set mom. Set mom. Sigma. This is where the fun begins.
I think we're about ready to start in just a second. A few more people coming in, so we're going to start in about 30 seconds.
We got a few more. Come to sit down. And I think we're ready to go. Welcome to Making a Mando Story, the Civil War. First off, I'd like to thank everybody that's here and show you a little teaser trailer. A new teaser trailer.
There's no audio, but just picture epic music. I worked so hard with the music, and this is the down in front. Down in front.
Yeah, I can hear
Down
it.
in front. You go and hit the broadside of a panther.
Yeah.
We can almost finally hear it. Is it worth playing again?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're off to a great start, everybody. This is lovely. Again, just picture epic music.
Marcus, do that. Bring up those helmets.
Oh yeah, we got Marcus and Judah Escalante in here. Jesus! So picture those sounds when the explosions are going off. And that's how we're going.
Yeah.
Smells like high school football. I'll go ahead and post this video later tonight too, so you guys can hear all the audio. We're just gonna go with it. It is what it is. It's all good.
We'll just have to have, excited silence.
Exciting silence, yes. Stay real quiet. We can hear it on the projector.
Put the mic, put the mic.
Oh, yeah, the mic.
We bring glasses and shoulders. That's how we roll.
It's all good. Shh. I swear this isn't a silent film.
Don't jump down there. Jaeger.
So a quick straw poll. How many Mandalorian cosplayers do we have in the room? Put your hands up. Look at it. Awesome. We got Nick Mando just arrived. Service with a smile. So, one other straw poll question is, how many people were aware of the Civil War fan film before coming? Like everybody. Okay. Thank you. That's awesome. Let's get into it. We're gonna start with just the fact that this is a Mando fan film production using cosplayers and industry professionals. So we've sort of purposely got a little balance going on here with the group and all the panelists, and I want to take a moment to just still do an intro of everybody. Okay, I'll introduce myself. I'm Nathan Seekerman, your moderator today. I went to USC Film School, and I've been in the business a long time. And if you look at my age, which some of you have, I'm 109 on Facebook. So I was very excited to have the opportunity to come join this production, and very surprised that Scott asked me to be your moderator. Let's introduce and meet the panelists. Scott, you're up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Scott Wynn. I'm the director, producer, and one of the two writers on this. I've worked for the last 13-ish years in the industry. Started off doing craft service and making my transition over to special effects. And that's my whole thing. I loved making movies as a kid growing up, you know, just fun little videos, making skate videos, and eventually I've evolved into doing this crazy stuff right here. But yeah, that's a little bit of my background. These are the people you want to hear about.
So, you know, Mike and John are, I'm told, one of the same mind. So this is sort of like a meeting.
Yeah, Michael and I have done a lot together. We've known each other for about 150 years or so, something like that. We've been on many movies, many around the world, and we're just bringing our kind of expertise that we've had to this project and to many others, and bringing everything we know and everything we've learned over the years, because you're always learning in this business. I have been doing it about close to 40 years, and I grew up in the business as well. My father was in the business and did movies like Deliverance and, you know, and E.T. and Top Gun, the original Top Gun, and I kind of followed in his footsteps, kind of been doing the kind of the same thing, and kind of going from there into everything that's movies, TV, commercials, music videos, everything now. So we've done a bunch of things together, and we've kind of like teamed together on a film that we did short films for and made movies with, and kind of going from there. Yeah. But we saw this project as something that we could really bring everything we know from the major film world to kind of a smaller kind of an idea, and bringing everything we knew to this to kind of make it exceptional and cool.
So John, are you speaking on behalf of both of you?
I am. We've literally done almost everything together.
Yeah.
And he's directed, written, and shot everything for him, except one project I wasn't available.
Yeah, I got into the business early on, and my first film was a short film that went to Sundance, and then got into production and learned quickly about camera. And then when I met John, we made a promise with each other that we would do something together. And from there, it evolved into a number of projects. We did proof of concepts, much like this, that for Scott being at the helm. We decided that we were going to do that, and it led into a feature with Lionsgate. When this came about, Scott, it was his first film, and he asked me if I could get together with him and help him direct it. But when I got on set, it was like he was the fish in the water already. He knew what he wanted. He knew what he wanted to do, and I just helped out whatever we could do. But you know, the combination of John and I were like Siamese twins, because I'll think of an angle and the size of a lens, and John will already be on it. Well, the same happened with Scott. When Scott decided to do something, John was right there. So we're a team.
All right, love it. I've got Rory.
Hello there. Somebody have to do it. My name is Rory Ross. I am a Mandalorian Cobra Commander in Mandalorian Season 3. I was also a Stormtrooper in Kenobi for all the episodes. And was the first one to interact with Ewan that was on Star Wars Day, May the 4th. That's awesome. And wrote the book with that as a test creator. Outside of that, I'm a goofball and also a big nerd with Star Wars. But the big reason for me of why Star Wars is such an important thing and why I just enjoy being in this world is that when I was a kid, I grew up on a farm. I like Luke Skywalker, but when I was about 6 years old, I contracted a rare fungus that was destroying my scalp. So my scalp was completely falling off. It was very horrifying, so that wasn't like Star Wars. But in that way, I ended up in the Iowa City Children's Hospital, and I was there for about a month. And I saw kids that got better. I saw kids that, unfortunately, that was it. And in that, I was scared out of my mind. And the first day I was there, my mom brought Star Wars and hope. And in that, it gave me hope that I needed, that I was going to be okay. And so for me, Star Wars has always been something that inspires and gives you hope. And it's really cool. And some cool fight scenes too. But for that, I'm very blessed and very thankful to not only just be a part of Star Wars as canon, but then also with this amazing fan interpretation of what we believe. Well, maybe I'm getting too ahead of myself, so I don't want to give any spoilers. But I'm just very honored to have this opportunity to be a part of it and to be a part of this amazing crew and with the amazing fan base that is Star Wars. So thank you so much.
Tim, you're up, and I see that it says actor and comedian.
Yeah, professional man child is kind of a better title.
So like, I always wanted to get into cosplay. I always wanted to go to a Comic-Con, and being trained as an actor and comedian really helped me because when COVID first hit, they're like, yeah, it's gonna kill everybody. I was like, I want to like skateboard. And I got pulled over by a cop. Like, I wish this was like some kid was like, you should dress like a Mandalorian and ride the skateboard. No, it's because the cop pulled me over and was like, you need a brain bucket in case you die. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've heard. I don't need a helmet if I'm already dead. So I made a Mandalorian helmet and he pulled me over again. And he goes, that's not how I saw you in my head. I was like, it's funny, even my dad said that my entire life. We have more in common than you think. And just making friends everywhere I go. And then I slowly built the armor, and it was just spreading joy when everybody was just fighting. I mean, there was kids fighting, there was adults fighting, and no one, we don't ever want to go back to those times, but that was my progression with, cosplay, and which ended up leading me to my first Comic-Con, which is where I met Scott, and then Rory. I had met Mandoing one time, and then I saw him on Sunset Boulevard. What was it, ice cream you were handing out? What were you handing out? It was something, and he like flagged me down, and I'm like, wait, what? Okay, I know who he is. But like, yeah, that's how I got into this, and seeing the armor being displayed out there was just, it's like watching 10-year-old me watching Star Wars, just making younger you proud. So Awesome. Now, Jerry Starks.
So I started out, got out of the military, then went into law enforcement, and when 3D printers first started coming out, I was like, oh, I could do that. So picked up a 3D printer, and about that time, I was like, I was really into Iron Man, and I wanted to do an Iron Man costume, and then the Punisher got a War Machine costume, and I was like, that's me. And that's what I did for a number of years. I competed in about every cosplay contest I could go to. And,
That's how I met you.
yeah, took best of show, took best of show in a few, took, what was it, best build, some other stuff. And I just kind of continued to progress. And as the Marvel Universe kind of went away, like it wasn't that great, I kind of got back into Star Wars. Then I met Scott, where did I meet you, Scott? At the Rocketown Comic-Con. So we exchanged some notes, and we kind of talked a little bit about the movie, and I was like, oh, I'm interested in that.
And then I forced you to make 15 sets of armor.
So,
And then we destroyed them.
yeah, fate would have it, I broke my leg, so I had nothing better to do than make 15 sets of armor. Because I didn't have to work. So that's how we met, that's how we continue forging forward, and I'll continue making armor for him.
Awesome.
He's our Emily Swallow making armor.
So Jerry, but we've also invited our lead actors that are originally cosplayers. Last minute, little surprise. I'd like to ask that Alex and Charlie give a little background about yourselves, because they came from the audience. That's what's so cool about this.
Hello there. I'm Alexander Robinson. I've been cosplaying now for a little over 10 years. Started off with Mandalorian cosplay. It all started with enemy props. They put me on my way, and I never would have thought that I would be sitting in a situation like this. I never thought I would be in a fan film, let alone something like this. It's been an incredible journey. As a professional background, I'm a 3D artist and kind of just took that knowledge to create my 3D cosplays. It's been a heck of a journey to get here.
Yeah.
Hello, for people who do not know me, my name is Charlotte, or Hollywood, as a lot of people like to say. I have significantly less experience than everyone at this table, like individually. I'm only 28. I actually just got out of the Marine Corps this past year. I was I got medically retired, so now I'm kind of just floating around here. But I absolutely love Star Wars, and I had a friend who actually had a Mandalorian kit, and I adored it. I love the culture, I love everything about it, and with the background experience and the creativity that I had, I really wanted to jump in and go for it. So that's what I did, and the kit that's actually shown in this film is my very first and only kit. I am working on a second one here after October, so we will see how that goes, but yeah, that's about it.
You can also see a lot of, not all of, but a lot of great close-ups. And some of these cosplay players are in the audience next to you. And we really appreciate you guys coming.
Those that are in the Mandalorian fan club, please stand up so everyone can see. If you're in the club, yeah, take a stand, take a bow. This is the way.
Thanks, Rory, for making me stand and sit again. A couple other shout outs. Actually,
Along with Mike and John, some of the other amazing industry professionals that we had help with was our lead gaffer, Madman, obviously Mr. Judah Escalante right here in the audience, helping us with some of our costumes, doing these amazing helmets. Mr. Tim Storm, our stunt coordinator, and his team at Action Planet, and then also one of my bosses, Mr. Blooms Tracy of BT Special Effects. And all of them helped make this just elevated to a whole new level of professionalism and epicness. I mean, look at that.
Is this the way?
amazing.
Am I in the right place? Is this the way?
Yes,
All
sir.
right, just want to make sure.
Okay, let's get into some questions. I'm going to start with Scott,
Okay.
and it's simply why make this with cosplayers and why use iPhones this rig.
Okay, so part one. So last December I worked on another gentleman's fan film. John, I don't know how to say his last name, but he's doing a fan film called The Sith War. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And that's basically where I met a majority of these guys, and I saw that somebody could bring together the cosplay community to, meet in the Angeles forest up in the mountains and make magic. And it was a lot, and I realized you could actually get people, like-minded people together to achieve a common goal. And I thought I should do that. That sounds wonderful. But then part two with the iPhone. Originally, we went out and shot our camera test on the iPhone. Did great, looked great. It was an older iPhone. When we went into pre-production to actually full-blown shoot this, we had access to 2 Alexa mini cinema cameras and a Red camera. And then Mr. John Connor changed my mind.
Yeah, sorry.
So now John's gonna explain why he changed my mind.
So I was approached by Apple, I'm not allowed to talk about that or anything, but they reached out to a bunch of industry professionals and really wanted to shoot on iPhone. So they started kind of gathering people together and getting their opinions of, you know, different camera formats and what we've done over the years. And I thought this was a great opportunity to do something with, because there's certain things you can do with iPhones that you can't do with movie cameras, and that's moving around quickly, wrapping around characters, getting cool, quick angles, and all that. I just thought this was a great opportunity to
Is
make.
that what this is?
This is actually a much bigger form than what we.
What's this
we
over
did.
here?
This is even bigger. It's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, but it does allow you to put a phone or a sensor where you couldn't put a normal camera. Exactly. I mean, you're a Steadicam operator now, and that takes years and years of experience, and now everyone can do it, which is great. And we just kind of, you know, built on that we could do things that we couldn't do with actual movie cameras, and the budget also went slightly down.
Yeah.
So, you know, we can pull favors from everyone we know in the industry, we can get everything out there, but to do this, it just made it all the more, we were able to put much more into the production level of things and get great production value out of something that's so amazing. You know, obviously it's come a long way, but in the last couple of years, it's really, really gotten a lot better. And being able to shoot log, I don't know if anyone really understands the concept, but you know, you have much more, you know, dynamic range with the cameras now than you used to have. Things wouldn't work, and now they just are amazing. So I just thought this would be a good opportunity, and then brought it up. And this guy had a bunch of ideas too, so we kind of did it together.
And real quick, the one reason I love shooting on iPhone is anybody can do it. Anybody can get out there and make something. You just have to have an idea. You have to be driven and just shoot it with what's in your pocket. I mean, it doesn't need to look like this. Just be a storyteller. Just get out there, have the passion, and just make it yourself. Whatever you have to do, reach in your pocket, pull it out, and shoot it.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things, you know, as a filmmaker is to watch the angles, watch what professionals do, so you can learn, because you can't just buy something and then, you know, when you shoot, you want to compose the shot in such a way where it's dynamic, and that's where John came in with us. And when Scott decided, and we looked at all the Star Wars movies and the things that we've covered, one of the most important things is getting, what John had said, the camera in the right position, and then shooting anamorphic, which is what they shot, you know, on Star Wars. So we took the opportunity to do that and to stretch our knowledge and to try to figure out, you know, whatever we could do. And with the help of you know, the cast and the crew, it was a great experience for me. And when Scott told me that we had the amount of Mandalorians to show up, I thought there was going to be 5 or 10 Mandalorians, and I thought, okay, what we'll do is we'll put 5 here, and then as we move the camera, they'll come around, they'll get on the other side. And how many did we have? 75 or 60?
No, close. I believe we had close to 50, including our stunt actors that we costumed up. I mean, I'll have to go back and count. I will say we are adding more people to the film. So when we go back to shoot next at the ranch, we should be closer to that 70, 75 number.
Yeah, and then we shot, when we did the interiors, and John was on it, and we got what Scott wanted to do, and he storyboarded everything, you know, which I think is really important too as a filmmaker, to have your storyboard set, to convey the images that you want to report to camera to the rest of the crew, so everybody can look at it and they know what's going on. It's one of the important things. So I think Scott hit the mark on that, and it gave John and I an opportunity to cover the images and angles that we wanted to do. We were all over the place in there, right?
So Mike and John of One Mind, working with Rory and Tim and Char and Styrex and Alex. I mean, that's a mix of professionals as well as cosplayers. How did that change your whole approach as well? Not just the equipment, but now you've got the numbers that you want as well.
Well, it's amazing, you know, it takes a village to do something like this, and just having everyone on board, full 100%, 110%. It was like being on a real movie set. It wasn't really any different. It was really amazing, and then, you know, everything comes together, makeup, wardrobe, hair, effects, craft service. It really comes alive, and it's really a great process to be a part of on any level. You know, you could get a couple of people together, do something, or you get a bunch of industry professionals and mix them with people, and it's just a great process all around.
Yeah, I think what has to be done is when you approach a project, no matter what it is, you come with the idea that you're here, not here. And when you do that, it all trickles down to everyone else. So when we walked in there, we knew that we were making something that Scott had a vision, and we knew that we wanted to make it like it was a movie that was a budget of $100 million. And when everybody else fell into place, they could see how we were working. It really became infectious, and a fever of talent and just approaching it on a professional level. So I think to answer your question, that's what I got from the cast and the crew.
I definitely saw that elevation, and I'd like to ask Rory and Tim, like, how were you feeling that working with Charlotte and Jerry and Alex?
Well, I think something that people don't think about is when you guys are doing cosplay, you guys really get into character just in general. Like, some of you guys I'll try to talk to, and you're like, this is the way. That's it. Like, that's all I get. And I'm like, okay. But I mean, on set, everyone was just fantastic. And also to kind of go back to the iPhones, typically when you're on set, you have maybe some light stands, things like that. And it helps create that ambiance that you want on set. And you have a dolly or something else to kind of get that movie shot. With the iPhone, they're just traveling around us. So what's happening is you're almost getting these really cool continuous shots, and all the explosions are going on, and you're able to get this full context of the full environment of what's happening. And I think as an actor, that was just awesome. Just be in the moment. Really, there's just primarily, especially during the daytime, it's just John or Mike with the camera, and then maybe a BTS photographer. But for the most part, it's just you and the cast, and you're just in that. And I think that was just a very fun, awesome time. Alex and Charlotte just absolutely killed it, and she has Hollywood name for a reason. So I'll just say that.
No, and like me being kind of thrown into the content creation world, learning how to shoot with a phone, that was never my end game. My end game was being in front of the camera, So working with Mike and John Condo, I'm doing that every time. I love it. But like the shots, the way they shot certain scenes and the way that they went about it helped me with my craft. So it's when you're on set with someone that has so much talent, sometimes you just have to shut up and watch, because you'll learn so much just by how they do things that help you in your own life. So I want to thank you guys for that, because I think some of those shots are absolutely beautiful.
I just want to add a couple things to it. So, I mean, working with these guys is absolutely amazing. To see the process, to see what the shots look like, firsthand. And you're like, wow, I couldn't even imagine it looked like that. And you see it actually portrayed, and you're like, that's amazing. The other great part that I really enjoyed working with Scott, Mike, and John was that they really were taking a lot of feedback too. So you come up and be like, well, what if we did this? And they're like, that was an excellent idea, and that's what we went with. And we tried to shoot that way or something else. So it was really great. Working with cosplayers, one thing that any true cosplayer will tell you is we love our kids. Those are our babies. Those are our prides and joys. So when they're going out there on camera, they're going to be stellar. They're going to be a representation of that person. So we knew that we were going to have some stellar cosplay, some stellar armor out there, and it worked out. So, what you guys?
Are we just moving on to like our
Are we talking?
perspective?
Okay, we've got Alex and Charlotte. Here's the thing
We can move on.
that everybody should know is that the two of you had speaking roles as well. That was, for a cosplayer, to me, that was not only a big surprise, but also a big opportunity. to kind of really integrate yourself into this storytelling even more than normally just, you have a kid.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. When I first got introduced to this project, I think, Scott, I think we met at Tonga?
No, John Street.
Oh, it was John Street, that's right. And then originally he kind of had pushed out this idea for this fan film, and I was like, or he asked, he was like, hey, does anybody have like any kind of military experience? And then on the flip side, any kind of like acting experience. And originally I was like, oh yeah, at the time I was in the military because we were talking about movements and everything. And then I was like, yeah, and then I was in theater like 10 years ago. But with that, I am very passionate about it, and I feel extremely grateful to have this opportunity to represent the Mandalorian community and to really kind of push forward this story. It's a beautifully written story that I'm so excited to share with you all that Harvey over here has written. I have a brain of a goldfish, I'm sorry.
That's why we call you Dory Mine.
But yeah, no, it's super awesome to actually have a speaking role, because at the time, I didn't think I was going to have a speaking role at all, and then now I play one of the lead roles. I play Tara. So yeah, that's about it. That's all I have.
I will say about cosplay players becoming actors on this, that when we set things up and you say, I need you to look camera right, camera left, they pretty much fell into it, and it was a pleasure working with them, making sure that they would understand the language that we have gone through, and then they picked it up quickly. So it's really something to see. I think it's important for you to understand that if you're doing your own movie. But I gotta give you guys a hand for
That really means so much, because going into this, I knew nothing about acting. So the coaching and the direction that John and Mike provided was amazing. And then the support from Pam and Rory.
We're trying in Star Wars.
We didn't actually.
Truthfully, in the end, we are extremely grateful for this position, because there are so many people out there that absolutely love Star Wars. It's their whole world. It's their whole entire life. And the fact that we get to be kind of a part of it and just like truly get to live out our dreams and like live out what a lot of people wish that sounds so rude coming out that way. But like, do you understand what I mean? Like being able to have the opportunity to do something like this, and then to have such an amazing crew to be able to guide us in a direction to make something as phenomenal as this.
So, we've heard from crew and cast, and I think there's a real obvious theme here, is that the crew, the professional crew, was teaching the cosplayers how to be also professional crew. And that is a synergy you can't buy. It just, the passion here is fantastic. And so I gotta throw it out to Scott. Do we need maybe more cosplayers and productions?
In the words of Kylo Ren. More! So I will say, the first initial round of casting we did for this, I went through roughly 100 cosplayers, took on who I needed, told everybody else, keep working on it, and let me know when you're dialed in and 100% ready to go. We did our first round of shooting in April in Lancaster with the crew or the cast that we had, realizing that we are going to be going back for another final round early next year of shooting to wrap this up. We got put out additional feelers, got over 200 Mandalorian cosplayers. had to go through every single one, speak to a lot of them, and just let them know, hey, I'll see you in March, or hey, keep chipping away, you got plenty of time. But as I mentioned before, we are aiming for about 75. I don't know exactly what the number is, but we may or may not be trying to beat the amount of Mandos that were in season 3 at one point on camera. So we'll see how that goes. Even if you're not great, we'll continue to get back. But yes, most definitely, if you're a Mandalorian cosplayer, send me a message. I'm very open. I love talking with people, encouraging people. And if you want to come play in the dirt and run through some explosions, let me know. And we'll see what we can do. And we'll get you on camera if we can. So yes, we are looking for more.
Okay, so one more sort of related thing for everybody, which is, how did you find this amazing location?
That is a fun story. So the first location we went to and looked at was in Moore Park. It was basically a paintball park that just had some hills and stuff. They wanted an extremely large amount of money, couldn't do it. And I forget how I found Twin Suns Ranch. But that magical Neverland, is it you?
What?
So Rory, sorry, it's all so long ago. Rory told me about Twin Suns Ranch, this place out in Lancaster. I reached out to them, spoke with the owners, and told them what we were planning on doing. Told them we want to shoot this, and I saw their buildings that they have, and you see it in the bottom right corner. There you go, yeah. So these beautiful buildings that are there, totally in universe. They do events out there for the Star Wars community. Just come out there, role play, have fun, play in the dirt. Told them that we're shooting this movie. I see the homes. There's some great pictures right there. And told them that's not necessarily what we wanted, but we'd love to shoot there. We can make it work with our story. Ideally, what we wanted to shoot with were trenches. And that's when they said, oh, funny, we have trenches here too. So it was literally the most Cinderella fit ever. And when I asked them, what is your budget to come out there and shoot? They said, I heard your story. Come on out anytime you want for free and just make your magic. And I could not be more appreciative to some of the people like Mr. Tom here that helps us out there when we're shooting. It truly was magical, and the fact that we were able to get everything and more that we wanted at this one location. And basically have near carte blanche, as long as we didn't break anything, of this place. I mean, it was perfect. I could not have asked for more. It was beautiful. I mean, just look at the trenches in the bottom with all those Mandos. It was one and done.
Scott, shout out to Jaeger who
And he couldn't, yes.
in a
So
large truck of nobody should have that much stuff.
huge, massive shout out to Jaeger. What's that?
Did you sleep? I thought that was
But Jaeger, who is the creator of Mando Clan Shroud, which is a Mandalorian costume club, he provided all the set dressing and brought it out from Arizona and literally had like a 26, 30-foot U-Haul truck packed to the brim and just brought all this stuff. And he and a few other members literally did all the set dressing and transformed the already beautiful location into a fortified military Mando encampment. And then let us blow it up. And throw Mandos into it and really just do crazy stuff. So huge shout out to Jaeger and the Shroud group for helping make it look beautiful on camera.
Long live the crowd.
Long live the Shroud.
I will say about the location, when I first heard Scott talk about it, we went out for the scout. I was a little reluctant, to see what was out there. And then he showed me and John exactly what he wanted. And then, some filmmakers say, my uncle owns a farm in Montana and we could shoot out there. And then how are you going to get the crew out there? How are you going to get everybody out? And, Scott, because of who he is, drew in all of these great filmmakers and people who came, because you can call yourself a filmmaker now. The important thing, too, about a location is I looked around and at one point I saw something and I said to Scott, I think I have an idea for the poster. We got a poster, don't worry about it. And then we got these Mandalorians to get on this ridge, and it was the perfect sunset and the perfect place for kind of like a Band of Brothers sequence. And you know, these things fall into place just because this image that you see now. And it really worked together. And the magic happens when all of these people come together to make it go.
Photographed
Photographed by Sebastian.
All of these beautiful pictures were taken by Mr. Sebastian. How he does it,
Who got us up there? Anthony. Set coordinator. Normally, we would be told that we're done, but because we're at the end, we can actually do Q&A now and take our time. So we're gonna do that now, and what do you think? Who wants to go first? Questions? Carly King.
You mentioned crafty. Do you guys have like a favorite craft food item that you like?
yeah, I'm gonna shoot it.
Don't mention that. Don't mention that.
What is her trying to say?
It's a crime.
Oh, shut up. Lots of prime.
We particularly like chlorine hydration.
Lots of prime.
But when we were in the cantina,
Yes.
the favorite snacks on set, I'm pretty sure was the juice boxes.
Yep.
Are you sure it wasn't Capri Sun?
Yeah, I kept having to go back. It was terrible.
Hey Pam, was it a goldfish?
Oh yeah, Pam loved the goldfish. I will say,
I think we got one more question
oh
there.
yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, hold on, what just fruit snacks?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
Right here.
I have a question. I'm very impressed you guys did on the iPhone and stuff. Most production crew, they mostly use a Red or Alexa or like a Sony or a Canon and stuff that's like that can shoot production level and stuff. But I'm very impressed of your iPhone and stuff. My question is how you guys all met in the desert and stuff, because that must be tough to all you guys meet in that location, especially when it's like up there.
Carpool.
Well, that's what Rory and Shane slept over.
What I was gonna say about shooting on an iPhone, if you're a fan of 28 Days Later, when they're shooting 28 years later, they shot that entire movie on an iPhone.
Mostly, not entirely. Just got it.
99.9999999%.
Because I always see like Red and then Alexa. That's why I always hear a lot of stuff. And I realize it's not the gear you have, is the skills you can back up. Most I shoot everything on the entry level, and I pretty much learn from the best filmmakers stuff.
If you put any camera in either Mike or John Cotter's hand, it's gonna be amazing because they believe in what they're doing. So it doesn't matter what avenue they're using to shoot anything, where they're using a GoPro or anything. It's just your eye is what brings it to life, not the camera.
I'm gonna go to the next question.
Like I still shoot on the iPhone.
Yep, right here.
Hey, Hamada-san, I'm Canadian.
Good. Sabrina, you're next.
Yeah. Hamada-san, I'm a film editor. I worked on a Star Wars fan film, Debater fan film by Star Wars Theory. So I was, thank you. So I was the assistant editor on that one. So just speaking about post-production, what are you guys editing this film on? Avid, Premiere, or?
I'm trying to get a little better at editing myself just so I can know that process. John, I know you're gonna work with the color grading of it and everything. DaVinci? Is that what it is? I think we're gonna do everything in DaVinci. You know, we're still very early on. Excuse me. We're hoping to release this, fingers crossed, by next December, but we're not gonna rush it. It's too good to rush it and put it out the door too soon. But yeah, we're working on visual effects. No promises. No promises. 2032.
We did use the Black Magic. We did use the Black Magic app as well to shoot everything on, so that was kind of a big help for us.
Sabrina, please.
I'm a free agent.
Yeah.
Let's talk after.
Sabrina, please.
Hi, my name is Sabrina.
I was in John's film. You guys probably saw me. I was just exactly like this. And I'm also a drift in Transformers Distortion. Check that out. My question is, so when I was in John's film, right, the worst thing was the heat about shooting in the desert. And we all have some crazy like stories about shooting in there. Any one of you who has the craziest desert heat story about shooting this, I would love to hear.
I
got one.
think
I got one.
Oh, no, we don't talk about that, Tim.
So-
Don't talk about that, Tim.
Okay, so if you know me, I drink a lot of water. I'm very hydrated. However, there was, what was it, the first day that we were shooting?
First day, first scene.
Yep, first day,
Second
first
scene.
day. I'm in a all black kit on a little apple box, like a little wooden box, for hours. It was like, was it? No, it was, okay, so I was out there for a while because we were shooting a scene and like we had to get 2 different directions. And I'm also standing out there, but during this time I'm like drinking Gatorade, I'm drinking water. Like if we were not filming, I was drinking something. And then eventually I made it back into the cantina, and it was one of those like Peter Parker moments where I was like, oh, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. Like, and I was like, I think I need to sit down. Like, I was just so hot because you also have to keep the helmet on as well. So it was hot. If I could add a second part to that, to try to help with the heat, because again, I'm in a black flight suit, in a black kit, we had like an ice bag, and I got help putting it in between my flight suit and my back, because it was, how hot was it out there, like 100?
It was supposed to be low 80s. When we were there, it was high 90s. And that changed within 48 hours.
Not a cloud in the sky.
Nope.
Yeah, very.
It was rough. So yeah, to try to battle that, we went ahead and we just put ice, and then within like an hour or 2, we would have to swap out the ice. It's hilarious. But yeah, it was hot. Which also kind of puts a damper on our filming as well, because you have a bunch of 50, 60 people out there, cast and crew, a bunch of people in Mando kits who have long sleeve pants, like most of us are in canvas, and all this armor, and we can't film, otherwise we're gonna have a bunch of heat risk. So it's hard.
And that being said, that is why when we shot this initially in April, we were ready to just keep shooting. And after realizing that everybody's in kit, we're in the middle of the desert, it's extremely hot. In the name of comfort and safety, we decided to take the summer off. There's no way we're gonna be out there shooting in the summer. It will be bad. So thankfully, that's why last week, we finally started back up.
Yeah, we started back up, but even in high 90s, I had a 3D printed helmet. And the helmet melted and it was flat top. So I had to replace it with a cast, resin cast, and match the paint. It's just the identical experience when you're doing stuff with paid production. So, good to remember.
Just a quick note about the heat. I think it was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and the sun was kind of over the top of us. And a lot of us had jetpacks and backpacks and whatever else. We're trying to get the shadow of the buildings, and it only extended out like a foot or 2 from the building. So we couldn't back into it. So you walk around the corner, you got a bunch of Mandalorians like standing facing the wall, like just standing in the corner.
Mandos were definitely competing for shade.
Yes. Do we have more questions though? I see you say that hand raised. Please.
As somebody who's kind of new to all this and whatnot, but has some acting experience in my past, how would somebody in this audience be involved in such projects such as this going forward?
Making friends.
Making friends, being just find your tribe, and just start finding like-minded people. Again, I want to invite.
One of the simpler things is make sure you introduce yourself to Scott.
Yeah. Well, I like to call it the Judd Apatow effect, if you know what I mean by that. Like when he had Freaks and Geeks, he brought together a group of like-minded, he had actors, he had sound, but even the actors also did sound sometimes. Like if you look at Always Sunny in Philadelphia, their pilot, the original pilot, oh my God, it looks like it was shot on like an old flip phone. But like, it's how you believe it, and you get your little group together and you just do it. Don't talk about it forever, just do it.
He's got a great point, and that's one of the things that, you know, I want to inspire everyone. If you want to tell a story, go tell a story.
Yeah.
If it's on your phone, if you can shoot it on any camera whatsoever, just come up with a story, make it engaging, and just get out there and do it.
You're the only one stopping yourself.
What Tim said. I will say, definitely come talk to me, shoot me some messages. On top of the Civil War, we have 9 more films planned down the pipeline. And they will range from Mandos to Jedi to Tusken Raiders, a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff I don't want to start talking about yet because it's still early development, but dear God, yes. Gentleman in the back with the hat.
You just talked about the using, I think, DaVinci for making some of the videos and editing.
Yes.
Any advice for anybody who's maybe jumping from the short form, say TikTok, stories, and get into like more of a long form, making some videos, longer stories?
Again,
anything like that?
I'm still learning DaVinci. I'm a professional at iMovie. But you're going from 10 buttons to 2,000 buttons. And
Maybe not so much technical, but more of like how to outline this. Like maybe
in post or pre-production.
Writing a script, making a story, having an idea, putting something from a 15-second short you want to do into a 15-minute video. Maybe tell a wider story, a bigger.
I'd say start small and build yourself up. Practice, 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 and hone your craft, hone your vision, hone your storytelling, and don't be afraid to surround yourself with people more smart and talented than yourself. That's what I've done.
You heard him say that. You heard him say that.
An important reminder, every story, regardless of whether it's 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 120 seconds, has a beginning, a middle, and an end, right? And so you have to create, scenes that motivate the audience to watch the next scene.
One thing I want to add is kind of on top of what they're talking about is just from when we shot in the desert to when we shot our last cantina scene, the level of improvement of not only the set deck, the just direction, the motivation, the activity, just getting everything done on time, improved tenfold. So come next March, it's going to be scary how good it's going to be because everything is improved. We're all learning. We're all getting that much better each and every time. So I look forward to it.
We've got time for one last question.
You want to hear a funny story from Seth?
No.
I'm just going to talk anyway.
We've got one last question. You got to give him a fair chance.
So after Civil War, what's next?
Oh, funny story.
After Civil War, we are doing a film called, and everything's in the certain point of view, what would you call it, the chronology or whatever you want to call it. It's under the umbrella of.
We'll add the convention NDA to this.
Oh yeah, no, the tribe's out there. It's been 8 other ones. The tribe is our next one that we are doing. That will be about Tusken Raiders. It is told through the point of view of a Coruscant documentary crew. And we will be having basically probe droids tracking and following a tribe of Tusken Raiders as they educate the rest of the Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Educating the rest of the galaxy on this tribe and these people and this species of alien. And I'll just leave it at something happens that they have never seen Tuskens do before. And that is the catalyst of that story. But again, that is something we will be shooting probably as soon as we finish this, but that is yet to be told.
Like we were saying, just have fun with it. Because this funny story was we were being interviewed for the podcast.
See how I did that?
Let's just say this.
Yeah.
If you're gonna meet people and you're gonna do these things, if you learn something, you pay it forward and you help someone else.
Yeah,
That's the most important thing. So just go out there and be as professional as you can and learn and ask questions.
And make mistakes.
And make mistakes and learn from them. And I know the lady in blue is about to tell us her time is up. Real quick, talking about paying it forward. Does anybody in this audience have an iPhone 13 Pro Max?
I have a regular 13.
It needs to be a Pro Max. We have, who do we have here? Editor boy? Editor man?
Yeah.
Alfonso, you know I'm already gonna hook you up. Okay? Chill out. Who again? Vader? Yes? Okay. Meet me. outside.
We're gonna end. Thank you, everybody, but we want to have all of the Mandos and Kid come up. Do
Come on, real quick. The lady in blue's gonna tell us to get the hell out. We gotta go quick.
Do a shot.
Vader, I got a iPhone camera cage and an anamorphic